Hey everyone, welcome to New Gameplay. Today, my name is Marcus Stewart. I am joined by the world's greatest demon slayer, Kyle Hilliard. Hello.
Hey, that's me. I am caught up on the Well, actually, I'm not caught up on the Demon Slayer anime. That's a lie. But I'm eager to watch the next season.
Well, if you need something to occupy your time while you're watching that show, you could play Diablo IV Vessel of Hatred. At least you can do it in October. Because it's got a brand new class that I got to play recently. And we're looking at it right now. It is called the Spiritborn. Now, Kyle, when you hear the name Spiritborn, what immediately comes to mind?
Like ghosts, I guess. I don't know.
You know what? You're pretty much you're there. So as you can see, it's this cool new class. It comes from the new region that the expansion is introducing called Nanhantu, and basically the Spiritborn is this like really powerful like martial arts warrior that has the ability to commune with the spirit realm, and it can do what I just did there, where it can summon these 4 spirit animals to show up and like just wreak havoc, as well as like harness their abilities. So I'm
sorry. Is there a cat following you?
Yeah, there's a little pet. That's one of the things that I believe the expansion introduces as well. I like of all the stuff happening on screen, that's the thing
I know. On. You're like fighting demons and snakes and calling in giant like monsters, and I'm like, there's a little cat following you. That's cute.
But yes, I got to travel to the Blizzard campus about a week or so ago to play about 2 hours, or actually a little over 2 hours of the Spiritborn. We're watching some of my footage here. So where the Spiritborn works is that you're calling upon these 4 different animals. They're the jaguar, the eagle that we saw earlier, the gorilla, and the centipede that we're seeing now. And they basically function almost like 4 mini classes in themselves. Like you can equip abilities tied to each one of them in kind of any sort of like hybrid fashion that you want, or you can maybe just have abilities that are just focused on one of the animals. But they each sort of have their promote their own playstyle. Like the jaguar is like a fire-based animal, and it basically emphasizes like fast attack speed and just like relentless offense on top of just lighting people on fire. The eagle, the eagle focuses on like maneuverability and like quickly jumping around the battlefield. Like you can kind of do like almost like a Final Fantasy like lance jump thing where you're just like zipping all over the place. And also with like elemental speaking, it's like based around electricity. The centipede that we see here is a poison class, and it also can debuff enemies, and it's good for like just like disrupting mobs. And then the final one, the gorilla, is sort of like the defense one. Like you become basically a tank. Like you can absorb a bunch of attacks, and then you can retaliate. And then the playstyle is a slightly slower, but like a lot more like focused on like powerful, heavy attacks.
Okay, and are you switching between these? I guess class for lack of a better term, like in real time, or do you have to go into a menu to change?
You have to go into a menu to change it. So each animal has its own like skills. So when you go to the skill tree, you'll have skills for all 4 unlocked, and then in your little hotbar down there, you can assemble them. Like you can assemble like a variety of them, and then you can kind of build a playstyle. So like during at one point in the build, I had just the gorilla and the centipede. So then it basically made me a tank that could also like heal myself and poison people. And then it was like, oh, that works pretty well. I like that. But then at another point, I was like, I'm going to go pure jaguar. And so I only equipped jaguar skills. So I was just like this, like just on fire, just like fast-paced offense, just like tearing through dudes. Like it's just like offense is the best defense basically with the jaguar.
Got it. Okay.
And there's also there's a new like menu tab called the Spirit Hall, where it has these 2 tabs where you can equip the spirit animals, and you can either equip like 2 different ones or fill both slots with the same one. But they sort of add like supplementary abilities to sort of like if you really want to gear your build towards 1 or 2 of them. So like I think the first tab basically gives you like an extra ability where I had the eagle equipped to it, and it was like, oh, every time you dodge, you'll shoot these like storm feathers. So it's just like, here's another compliment if you want to do like eagle style. And then the second one is a little bit more I guess like more passive abilities. Like I equipped the jaguar there, and then it allowed me to gain +1 ferocity, which is this new mechanic for the jaguar that is basically attack speed. So it's like, hey, every time you kill someone, your attack speed will go up by 1. So like mixing and matching with that is sort of like, there's a lot of fun and a lot of like customization involved, but like even without the spirit animals, like the base class is very much inspired by martial arts. Like I was speaking to like the art director who was like in charge of animation. He talked about how a lot of the animators in real life are like practice a lot like different martial arts disciplines, like Muay Thai or Jiu-Jitsu, Kung Fu, and they just looked at that for the Spiritborn, and that's like just pretty much a mix of a bunch of styles is how the class plays, where it's like really fast paced, a big focus on mobility and agility. As you can see there, you do like little flips. And for me, like I'm a guy that in pretty much any action game, I tend to favor like fast paced offense, and like that made this class probably my favorite already, just within the 2 classes already. Like it is fun to just go around and like, I'm just gonna go and just tear these dudes apart with just like really fast strikes, and then also just having that mobility to hop around the battlefield really quickly. Like it's combined with just the cool spirit animal stuff and just the depth involved of like, how can I combine these spirit animals to make like different like interesting builds? Like it's a really fun class to play.
Cool. Yeah, it's and is it like if you want to play as this class, do you have to like restart the game or?
So what's nice is that, so like, you know, if you're existing owner of Diablo IV, like you have to buy Vessel of Hatred, the expansion, to get the class. But if you want, once you own Vessel of Hatred, you can play through the entire base campaign with the Spiritborn. You don't just like, he's not just locked to the expansion content.
Okay.
Like I think
but Blizzard expects players to like to try it out by playing the expansion, I guess, right?
Most likely. Like if you're going to the expansion, odds are maybe you've already beaten the campaign, maybe multiple times over, so you're just going to be playing the expansion story. So you can play the Spiritborn there. But if you're like, I think Brent Robbins, the game director, said like, oh yeah, I've already beaten the base game with the Spiritborn. Like I just replayed the base game and then jumped into the expansion because I love the Spiritborn so much. So if you're looking for a reason to just like replay that base game again, this is a pretty good argument for that.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're just showing off some poison stuff. I think there's also like in terms of the weapons, like it favors like pole arms and glaives kind of weapons. The armor sets, it's hard to tell, you know, because it's the smaller character model, but the armor sets look pretty cool too. Like it's got like 4 different, or at least I saw like 4 different armor sets that were each themed towards one of the animals. So it was like, oh, if you really like the centipede, you can get some armor set that just makes him look like he's got like centipede looking armor and like tattoos, and the same for like the other 3 animals. You can see here like it's not a heavily armored class because it's so focused on mobility and agility. So it's like, you know, like waist cloths and like a lot of exposed chest pieces. They were saying like the Spiritborn isn't really concerned with protecting themselves. It just needs like something you can move around quickly and just like get in people's faces as quickly as possible. It's not really trying to guard against anything, if that makes sense.
All right, so it's a very like offensive focus build.
Yeah, it's for if you're a fan of just hitting things and looking cool and then summoning cool animals like that to come out and just like wreck people. And I did have more footage of the jaguar and the gorilla, but unfortunately it got messed up somehow.
Yeah,
so which is why we're only seeing the centipede mostly right now.
Just imagine that they look cool.
Yes, you imagine correctly. They look pretty cool. But I have a written feature online if you want some more in-depth impressions for the class and sort of the backstory behind it. So it's got some screenshots of all of the classes if you want to look at them, as well as some of the perks and aspects associated with them. But yeah, I just wanted to give a quick look at the Spiritborn. Like I said, it's a lot of fun to play. And I'm excited to mess around with it some more when Diablo IV Vessel of Hatred launches on October 8th. So yeah, Kyle, thanks for joining me.
Yeah, thanks for having me.